face coverings will be compulsory in shops in England from the end of next week, and anyone refusing to wear one can be fined £100.
The Duchess of Cambridge chats exclusively to breakfast about motherhood and why she's backing a new BBC initiative to support families with young children.
In the first few months, there's a huge amount of support from midwives and health visitors and things. But from then onwards, there's a massive gap before they then start school.
Has the economic recovery begun? This morning we find out what happened in May as more of us went back to work, and I'll be looking at how some of the winners, like this delivery business, and some of the losers have been getting on.
Let's have a look at some of the front pages for you this morning, starting with the Daily Mirror. All the English editions feature the move to make the wearing of face coverings in shops compulsory. The Mirror saying that the new rule comes in on, of course, the 24th of July. And we'll be asking the Minister a little bit later on why it is 24th of July.
The Telegraph is leading on the fact that shoppers who will flout the new rule, who may flout the new rule, would face a £100 fine. There's a picture of the Duchess of Cambridge at the launch of the BBC's new Tiny Happy People website. We'll get more of that with Louise a little later on.
The Times does feature the face covering story, but it leads on growing tensions between China and the UK. It says Britain is set to send one of its new aircraft carriers to the Far East to carry out exercises with allies, including the US and Japan. And there's the Duchess of Cambridge again. That's all part of Louise's interview, which you're going to see throughout the morning.
Many Scottish papers are, just like the Edinburgh Evening News, marks the reopening of shopping centres and hotels in Scotland. The paper is calling it the Great Reawakening. In case you have missed them, Dan, because obviously social distancing,
yes.
Snogging's back on telly.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, kissing and sex scenes in TV are about to resume. There will be very strict new guidelines, you'll be pleased to know, Dan.
How do you...
They're going to be working in close proximity. They'll be screened more frequently for Covid-19, daily symptom checks, and they have to observe social distancing in their life outside work during the filming period. But the new rules are there, so we get a little bit more snogging on telly.
Okay.
In the new stuff.
Right. Well, all that to look forward to.
An Antiques Roadshow is coming back to BBC One in August. For the first time, though, in more than 40 years, it's going to be filmed on a closed set. Fiona Bruce, the host, is asking us to search our attics and cupboards for treasures. So, news today. Shoppers will have to wear face coverings in shops in England from the 24th of July.
Downing Street said there is growing evidence that face coverings help to protect people from coronavirus in enclosed spaces. Police will be enforcing the new rules, and those who fail to comply will face a fine of up to £100.
Scientists advising the government say that a second wave of coronavirus infections this winter could be more serious than the first, with 120,000 hospital deaths a reasonable worst-case scenario.
A report commissioned by the Chief Scientific Advisor says action must be taken now, while the infection rate is low, to minimise the risk of a second peak over the winter months. Their recommendations include early flu vaccinations for health and social care workers, a public information campaign and a rapid monitoring system to stop local outbreaks.
£170 million is going to be invested into flood defence projects across the UK to better protect homes, businesses and jobs. It follows the winter's extreme weather.
The government has also revealed how previously announced funding package of £5.2 billion will now be spent.